Hey everybody, today we're here with Jewell Siebert. And so Jewell and I, we were trying to recount how long we've known each other, and it's been actually a while. It's been 4 or 5 years. Jewell and I were accountability partners in a program that we were in where she kept me on my toes and made sure I did what I said I was going to do. And I did the same for her. So we've known each other for a long time, but we got reunited because we all know that the universe does that for you, right? He will bring those people back around into your life if they're supposed to be there. And so that's what's happened with Jewell. And so she is one of our lovely co-authors for the book Permission Granted. And we are so glad you're here with us today. And so that was my intro of you, but how would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. That was beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. So I'm initially from Michigan, or originally from Michigan. I live in San Antonio, Texas right now. I lived in Texas for a while. And I spent the first part of my adult life as an active duty Army officer. And now I do something different. I left active duty, I'm in the reserves, and I founded the Happy Life Seeds movement. And what I do is I work with working women to help them create more freedom, more ease, and more fun in their lives so they can get more done easier, and so they can really enjoy those special moments with their family. You know, all those things that we kind of gloss over when you're flustered or overwhelmed or too busy.
Yep.
And I'm also working with children. You know, I'm helping kids to be more confident, happy, and resilient as well. So I love that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, I think Lori and I have talked about this book and kind of our whys. And so what brought you to say yes to doing a chapter in this Permission Granted book?
Oh my goodness. Well, the whole topic, right? I mean, the whole topic of giving yourself permission to be yourself and to want the things you want. And I think that was so important. And I was personally drawn to it because I did not live like that for a majority of my life. And I know how much it stinks when you're settling, when you're not comfortable in your own skin, when you're not comfortable wanting the things you really want or speaking up. And I just felt like that is something that I have not done for a long time and really needed to figure it out. And I was so drawn to helping other women learn from my mistakes and from where I went right. And it was just, it was like a magnet, right? Don't y'all feel like it was like that for you?
Absolutely.
Yes. I love that. I think I heard recently, dust settles, we shouldn't. So that's what I was thinking about when you were talking. I was like, that's exactly right. We shouldn't be settling. We should be going after things. So that's about why you got into the book. But for your chapter specifically, will you tell us about your title for your chapter, and then what's your intention for writing this specific chapter and story?
Yeah, absolutely. So my chapter is called Permission to Get Messy, because life gets messy. Mm-hmm. And in my case, I said I was an active duty officer I was active duty for 14 years. And I decided to make a radical life change. And it was, not just a career, but your whole identity gets wrapped up in your career. But I was settling, I was settling for being happy-ish. And so I made this radical life change, and I knew it was right in my heart, but my life turned into a mess, right? So I wanted to help other women who are like, man, I'm in an okay situation. It's kind of crappy, but I can wait it out. But the truth is, we only get one shot here in this lifetime, as far as I know, right? And life is too precious. Our time with our people we love is too precious to waste it settling. And even though it's scary and messy, I thought I wanted to use my mess, my experience going through the mess, to help other women who might be debating, should I stay and wait it out, or should I take a chance even though it's going to be messy?
Well, and I think, I think that is definitely something we can all relate to as women, as humans. Making that transition is not always clean. It isn't always seamless. And so there's a bunch of mess in between there, and thriving still during that is huge. And so tell us, permission granted, that was a real draw for us is the title itself, right? So what does giving yourself permission mean to you, or what does just the title itself, permission granted, not just your chapter, but in whole, how do you view permission granted?
Yeah, it's a great question. For me, it really comes down to love, to loving yourself, giving yourself permission to unapologetically love you exactly how you are, where you are, not tomorrow, but today. And it's who you are and what you want. Because I think a lot of times we try to fit in, well, I tried to fit into a mold. I think a lot of people do, others outside expectations. But for me, permission granted means no, God made me the way that God made me for a reason. And with exactly how I am, with my quirks, my desires, everything. And only by giving myself permission to just to do that, to be me, will I be happier, have better relationships, achieve more, and fulfill my purpose that I'm here to do. Because I think we all have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So
true.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you have given yourself permission to be you, because you are wonderful.
Thank you.
We love you.
So what we like to do with our viewers is, Tonya and I have been on this ride for a little while now, where we have gradually added things to our lives to improve. But we do try to give things, not to overwhelm people, but to give them little tips or one action people can take. So if you had to give our viewers one action to take that you feel like would improve their lives or make just life better for them, what would that be? You're back.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear the question?
I froze that if you had to give our viewers one action to take.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so here's what I would say. We all know, listen to your gut, right? Because your gut is right. Your initial instinct is right. And when we listen to our gut, sometimes we'll have this really great idea and we'll listen to our gut, but then we'll have all these fears and self-doubts come in. And that's one thing I really encountered in my mess. And when those come up, a lot of times we'll try to fight it, right? And we'll try to say, nope, I'm not listening to you. Just go away. I'm going to willpower my way through this. And that works for some people, but for a lot of us, it doesn't. So instead of trying to fight our inner critic, I would invite you to dig deeper, explore what's going on. Because our inner critic is trying to keep us safe, right? It's not our enemy. It's trying to keep us in our comfort zone because that's the known. So what I always recommend, ever since learning this, I say always, but since I learned it, a few years ago, to ask it, what's going on? And I normally do this while I'm tapping. You can do it in a meditation, but find out what's going on, and you can renegotiate with it. You could say, you know what, that worked for me before. It's not working for me now. Here's what I prefer. And that way you form a partnership, and you're not fighting, because it's exhausting fighting. And that little voice inside is just going to get louder and louder and louder. But if you figure out what's going on, then you can work with it and get where you want to go.
Yeah, that's, so true too. And how many times do we have that voice and we want to trust it, but then we don't, and our head takes over from the instinct. And then we feel like we're in limbo, or feel like we're fighting that battle. So that's perfect. And I love that you mentioned the tapping, because we have talked a little bit about to our tribe members about tapping and EFT, and it's something that I probably should do more. I find myself only pulling it out on occasion when I really could use it daily. It really should be a part of my daily practice. And sometimes I wait until I'm too stressed and bring it out then. So, but the tapping piece is huge. So we're excited about being able to share that with our members too. So anything else? How can our people get in touch with you? Anything you want to leave behind for them?
Yeah, I actually made a gift for them.
Yeah,
So I'm so glad you talked to them about tapping because so I made a guide because for exactly this, tapping to quiet your inner critic. It's kind of turning your inner critic to a coach. So it's a guide, and I made a little tap along video, and
That's awesome.
so I made it. It's on my website. I made a special page for you guys. So if you go to Jewell Siebert, it's Jewell with 2 L's, jewellsiebert.com/PVT. I had to look it up. PVT. Then there's the download for your guys or for your viewers, and I love tapping on inner critic. So I hope you find it useful.
Yay, awesome. So we'll post that link too. When we post this video, you'll find her link along with that too, so you can go in and get your gift. Awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, and thank you for being here and taking the time to do this. We love you so much.
Me too.
And we are so glad that the universe decided to reconnect us, and just very, very proud to be a part of this Permission Granted book with you. And so we look forward to a continued friendship with you.
All right, so get our book, Permission Granted. It's going to be on Amazon. It comes out July 30th. And if you're watching this before, please order it on the day that is released. And if you're watching this after, go get it now. What are you waiting for?